Distinguished guests for today's ceremony include Brigadier General Laura Clellan, Command Sergeant Major Joseph Till, Colonel Andrew Grantham, and Colonel Joshua Day. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party. Remain standing for the invocation by Chaplain Justin Cohen of the Colorado Army National Guard.
Please join me in asking God's blessing on this change of command. Gracious God, we come together today and take pause in our training to acknowledge your existence and invoke your blessing on this change of command ceremony. We thank you for granting us the privilege of living in this great nation and the wisdom of our forefathers to long ago recognize the insight in invoking prayer in all things. Lord, we are grateful for the opportunity to serve in the greatest army ever assembled in human history. In a world continually filled with uncertainty, discord, and conflict, we stop to contemplate the unique nature of this event as we witness the peaceful and orderly transfer of military authority between Lieutenant Colonel Soper and Major Stansberry. We thank you for your direction and Lieutenant Colonel Soper's tenure as commander, for the personal sacrifice he has made as a leader and the resulting successes he and his soldiers achieved during his tenure, for leading his battalion through a critical time in our world, for sustaining unit strength and training with high morale, and continually ensuring the aviation mission remains a relevant endeavor in bringing freedom to the peoples of this world, for the successful deployments and support of the war against terrorism. We ask you to guide Lieutenant Colonel Soper, his wife Tara, and his children, Tori and Tyler, and grant that he continues to contribute to the strength of our nation. Bless them all in his next responsibility as he continues to serve. And now, Lord, guide Major Stansberry as he assumes command of the Blackjacks. Direct his steps and give him a double portion of wisdom to meet the ever-changing uncertainties of the future. Bless him, his wife Laura, his son Will, and his daughter Grace as he seeks to serve the soldiers placed under his command and care. May he be a model of personal integrity and effective leadership. Grant these things that together we might continue to make a solid contribution to the stability of peace in our state, our nation, and our world. These things I pray in the name of the Lord God Almighty, the author of freedom. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, today we are honoring Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper, distinguished service as a commander of the 2135 General Support Aviation Battalion. It is tradition that the spouses of the outgoing and incoming commanders are presented flowers as tokens of appreciation and acceptance of the unit. Ms. Soper is being presented a banquet of red roses from the soldiers of 2135 GSAB in recognition of her support of the 2135 GSAB and her support of her husband's career. In honor of military tradition, Ms. Stansberry is being presented a banquet of yellow rosebuds symbolizing the unit's friendship extended to her on the eve of Major Todd Stansberry's assumption of command. However, unfortunately, Ms. Stansberry is not able to be here today because she is still in Germany transitioning the family back to Colorado. The custom of acknowledging a change in command in a formal ceremony is rooted in military history as early as Roman times. At that time, organizational flags, guidons, and standards were developed with color, arrangements, and symbols unique to each particular unit. To this flag or guidon, the soldiers of the unit would dedicate their loyalty and trust. When a change of command was to take place, the flag was passed to the individual assuming the command. The gesture was accomplished in front of the unit so that all could see and witness their new leader assuming his dutiful position. He who held the flag also held the soldier's allegiance. This symbolic tradition has survived throughout military history. The change of command ceremony is to emphasize the continuity of leadership in the unit identity despite changes in individual authority. It symbolizes the transfer of responsibility and accountability from one passing the flag from the incumbent battalion commander to the new battalion commander physically represents transfer of command. Members of the unit, colleagues, military counterparts, honored guests, family, and friends witness the formal ceremony as Colonel Andrew Grantham will now conduct the traditional passing of the colors for the 2135 General Support Aviation Battalion. The transfer of the battalion colors is significant in many ways. The history, traditions, and accomplishments of the 2135 GSAB are embodied in it. With the transfer, the unit's legacy is passed as a building block for future performance and achievement. Historically, the flag or colors of a unit served as the point around which the soldiers of the organization rallied as they moved forward into battle. The colors have traditionally been at the side of the commander and were carried forward even when the commander fell in combat. All others may perish, but the colors will live on. With the transfer of the colors here today goes the transfer of responsibility for the accomplishment of the 2135 General Support Aviation Battalion mission and the welfare of the troops.
Battalion!
The senior NCO of the organization is traditionally responsible for maintenance and care of the colors, and so the Command Sergeant Major passes the unit colors to the outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper, signifying the unit's appreciation for his leadership and guidance. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper passes the battalion colors to the brigade commander, signifying the relinquishing of his command and gratitude for the opportunity to lead soldiers. Colonel Andrew Grantham then passes the colors to the incoming commander, Major Todd Stansberry, entrusting him with the responsibility and care of the unit. Major Todd Stansberry passes the colors back to the Command Sergeant Major, signifying his trust and confidence in the leaders and soldiers of the organization. In accordance with AR 600-20, paragraph 3-4, the undersigned assumes command of the 2135 General Support Aviation Battalion, effective 15 May 2016, signed Major Todd Stansberry, commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Andrew Grantham, the commander of the 89th Troop Command, will now share some remarks.
I'm gonna get my old man glasses out. Hey, I just turned 50. How you guys, how the Blackjacks doing out there? General Clellan, Sergeant Major Till, fellow commanders, CSMs, family, and friends. I just want to say a few words about each of these men. One leaving, one coming in. Rob Soper. I've seen you grow and mature into a strategic thinker over the past couple of years. Why is that? You have been tested like most of your peers have not and may never will be, and you held your ground. Your unit has been tested and pushed, and you held your ground. When all the chips were on the table, you held your ground. Rob, courage is not defined by those who fought and did not fall, but by those who fought, fell, and rose again. I want everyone here to know that I have high respect for the courage Lieutenant Colonel Rob Soper displayed while in command. The trials and tribulations he has endured over the last few years may have broken another man, but Rob persevered. The op tempo of this unit, with the units coming and going, last-minute deployments, would have sent most men running. But Rob, you held your post. You never quit. In his counter-drug role, Colonel Soper is recognized nationwide as a premier subject matter expert in counter-drug, and in the financial management of counter-drug funding. Last week, the Colorado National Guard counter-drug team underwent a National Guard Bureau counter-drug program evaluation. The unit received a 99%. It's the highest in the nation. And that's all attributable to Rob Soper and his hard work training and supporting the counter-drug team. Rob, as you leave command, I personally want to say thank you for persevering, for finishing what you started, and for growing as an individual, as an officer. Man, I want you to remember this. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Todd Stansberry, I know you are ready. I know you want this. I know you will pick up where Rob left off and run with it. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Do not be afraid to push the limits. Do not be afraid of success. I'm looking forward to working with you and seeing you grow. Good luck and Godspeed. Good job, Blackjacks. Cool.
Thank you, Colonel. Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper, will now share some remarks.
I have just a few prepared remarks here for the day. General Clown, Sergeant Major Till, Colonel Day, Colonel Grantham, thank you for being here. I know there's some retired, some former Blackjacks here. Thank you for being here. Chaplain Callan, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for keeping me spiritually straight, through everything we've been here. I want to start out with the thank yous, and it first goes. I thought it was going to be easier than it is, but I want to thank my family first. My wife Tara, thank you for everything, your sacrifices, your patience, your dedication to me in my career. I could not do this without you on my side every step of the way. You've been with me for 29 out of my 30 years in the Army, and you're my unsung hero, and I appreciate you every day. My kids, Tori and Tyler, you guys are right up there. Thank you to you guys for accepting me and accepting all the times I've been gone. It's hard. It's hard for me, and it's hard for you guys. You don't always understand the why behind the job. You're always there. Thank you. My mom is here from back east. She's always been there to support me. She's been great. She's given me great guidance, and she's been a living example for me. And for Blackjacks, try to add a little levity for those of you who want to understand why I'm into physical fitness. My mom is 87 years old. She's going to be 88 in September. She ran here from Pennsylvania. She started last week. She got here yesterday. She probably can do more push-ups than I can on any given day. So she's a stud, and I owe a lot to you, Mom. Thank you. Colonel Grantham, thank you for giving me the opportunity to command the best battalion, I feel, in this formation. There's no question about it. And for your continued support for my tenure. It really means a lot. I have a lot of friends here as well, so thank you to all my friends who've shown up, taking some time out of your weekend to be here with me. To the former Blackjacks in the crowd, thank you all as well for being here. I appreciate you guys coming back and being part of this Blackjack family. And finally, to the soldiers of the Blackjacks, I want to thank each and every one of you. So I'm going to start with the R's and work backwards. So if you could raise your hand when I say your name. Just kidding. I won't go into that detail. But seriously, I do have some folks that I want to acknowledge. Let me start out with Sergeant Major Clancy. Sergeant Major Clancy, you have become a great friend and advisor, even though some of your advice was crap. and I actually took it.
I take full ownership for that.
There was no one better who covers my back every step of the way. You know, through highs and lows, you always have my back, and I have 100% confidence that you're always going to be there, and I appreciate that. You know, Command Sergeant Majors are part of the command team, and I couldn't have done it without you, and I appreciate all your hard work, and I know how dedicated you are to this organization, and that makes a difference. To the primary and special staff out there, especially the XO and the S3. You guys, Major Moore, Major Houck, formerly Major Brown, and Major Munch, you guys do the heavy lifting. The staff is where my guidance turns into plans, and the staff is where long hours is the standard, and without whom the ship, this blackjack ship, doesn't leave the port. To the commanders and the first sergeants out there, former and past as well, you are where the plans and the staff turn into execution. Thank you for your dedication to this mission. Thank you for placing soldiers under your care first, always. Thank you for supporting me in your efforts, and thank you for bearing the burden of command, because it's a heavy burden. To the rest of the blackjacks, the officers, NCOs, and soldiers, you are where the execution becomes action. You're the doers. I could not think of a better group of people to be associated with, and with whom I get to call my extended family as the blackjacks. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your commander. Your accomplishments during my tenure have been many. You recovered the battalion from the deployment in Kuwait in 2013 when I first got here. Gulf Company, right on the heels of that, deployed to Afghanistan in 2014. Nearly half of the battalion deployed again to Kuwait and Iraq in 2015, and y'all just returned a few short months ago in 2016. In the meantime, you've supported domestic operations across the state of Colorado, from search and rescues, to wildfires, to counter drug missions. All of you have never failed to step up and meet the requirements of the mission and meet the needs of our country, our state, and our local communities. Truly amazing work from truly amazing people, every one of you. I confidently leave you in the hands of Major Todd Stansbury. Todd, you're a competent and capable leader, and you will do very well in this organization. Welcome back to the Blackjacks after a little bit of a leave. I have done my best to leave this organization better than I found it. I've tried to leave an enduring impact. The Blackjack legacy is strong, and I believe it will continue on in the future. In closing, I mentioned this when I took command, and I think it's worth mentioning again. In September 2013, I was given the opportunity to go to Normandy, and that's once in a lifetime for a lot of people. In September 2013, I had a chance to visit Normandy above Omaha Beach. It was a remarkable trip. I walked through the American Cemetery. The cemetery is filled with 9,387 soldiers, sailors, and airmen from our greatest generation. We, as a country and as a formation, can only hope that we never see that kind of threat to our existence again. And as I look out upon this formation, I see another great generation, a truly great generation. I see soldiers, some of who have been in the military for a couple of decades, and you continue to serve. And that's really impressive. And I see a lot of young soldiers who enlisted or joined the military since 9/11. And I think that's even more impressive, because you knew what was going on, and you decided to leave what you were doing, throw the uniform on, and commit yourself to the mission. All of you standing here can really take pride in your service. You're among a small number of people of the population in our country. Less than 0.5% over the last 2 generations have chosen to put on the uniform and serve your country. And you can call yourselves a proud member of that brotherhood. You are a group who sees their place in this dangerous world, and you're willing to do what it takes to make a difference and contribute, not only to your generation, but to your country and the community and the future as well. You do it for the flag that flies on your right shoulder and all that it represents. Make no mistake, this place, this world is no safer than it was on 9/11/2001, 15 years ago. The world continues to be a dangerous place, a place where actors like Russia, Iran, and China, state-sponsored terror groups, and rogue terrorists continue to operate around this globe. We are still confronted with actors who want to do us harm on a grand scale and assault our freedoms and change our way of life. And it's soldiers like you, each and every one of you, in this formation, you stand between them and our great country. You stand between them and our families. You leave your mark by your courage and commitment. Your generation will be judged by the quality of your character. And I know each and every one of you has that character in you. It is for this reason that I am proud to be in the company of heroes like you, and I call you all my heroes. And finally, Blackjacks, the ship comes in, people get on and people get off at every port, and the ship heads out again. We are all transit in this organization, but regardless of where we are, we all share a common bond, which is the Blackjacks. I want you to know that even though that I will no longer be in the battalion, and there is still some unfinished business, I will stay connected to this battalion, I will stay connected to this organization, and I will always offer my assistance and mentorship. My door is always open for each and every one of you to come talk to me. I will forever be a member of the Blackjacks family. Blackjack 6 out.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 2135 General Support Aviation Battalion, Major Todd Stansberry.
It's always hard to follow two eloquent speakers, but I'll do my best. So Blackjacks, you guys look awesome as always. I've stood in many of these formations over time, and I've always wondered why all this chaos and hard work for just a couple folks. But what I've learned over time is it's not about us up here. This is about you. This is Colonel Soper's last chance to let you know publicly how proud he is of the amazing work that you've done. It's the senior leaders of Colorado's chance to demonstrate with their time and presence how much they appreciate what you do every day. And it's my chance to tell you how humble and privileged I feel to stand before you and to be back in your family. This formation is not about us, it's about you. General McClellan, Sergeant Major Till, Lieutenant Colonel Day, distinguished guests, fellow commanders, family, friends, neighbors, thank you for taking this time to come out and honor Colonel Soper and the great work he's done and this team before you. Colonel Grantham, I appreciate and thank you for the trust that you're providing me to give me the opportunity to lead this amazing team. Colonel Soper, I've already shared with you how much I appreciate what you've done, how much I followed you on a number of assignments, and every time it's frustrating because you do such a great job. For example, 99% on the last inspection. You couldn't have given me a couple percent, you know. But it's typical of what you do, sir. You do amazing work, and I feel privileged to follow you again. Tara, Tori, Tyler. I shouldn't get emotional in times like this. I'm an incoming guy, but however, I just want you to know, to give you an example of how much I recognize that you're the unsung heroes of why. Every great man, every great soldier, every great woman, every great leader, their family is why they're strong and why they succeed. It allows them to lead this amazing unit. Same with the families of all of us out here. So thank you for the late nights, the missed meals, the long phone calls. You think he's coming home, he's going to have a free mind if he doesn't. You know, thank you for those sacrifices. Blackjacks, this unit is known around the country, across the National Guard Bureau, and in the state for always succeeding at every mission, whether it be combat or domestic operations. You've always succeeded because you've been ready to meet every mission that's come your way. And to that end, in line with Colorado Army Guard priorities, United Troop Command priorities, and what we know is right, readiness is and will maintain our #1 priority. And let there be no mistake, there is no other #1 priority. We're going to meet this readiness priority through developing leaders who seek and accept responsibility, leaders who train and empower their subordinates. We're going to do it through teamwork, building teams within our companies, within this unit, inside and outside this organization. We're going to do it through professionalism. We're going to operate, fly, train, support as the true professionals that the Army expects us to be, that our neighbors expect us to be, and frankly, that we expect from each other. And with these tenets, we're going to continue to capitalize on the great work of the people that have come before us and continue to secure our spot as the greatest aviation battalion in the Army. Colonel Grantham, you have my word that Laura and I are going to give our all for these men and women before you. Lieutenant Colonel Soper, thank you again. Thank you for your mentorship, your guidance, and you did leave this organization better than when you came, and thanks for leaving a big challenge for me to try to take it to the next step. Blackjacks, for those of you in this formation that have helped me, protected me, served me, and worked with me, trained me, mentored me throughout the years, thank you. I appreciate and acknowledge all the work that you've done to allow me the opportunity to stand before you today. Lord and I look forward to serving with you as we stand ready to support our nation and our state next time duty calls. Thank you.
Attention to orders. For exceptionally meritorious service while performing as the 2135 GSAB Battalion Commander during the last 2.5 years, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper's leadership and service had tremendous impact to the mission accomplishment of the 2135 Battalion during this very demanding period. The battalion completed 2 combat missions overseas and numerous life-saving missions supporting the citizens of Colorado while he was in command. His exemplary leadership is in keeping with the finest traditions of the military and reflects great credit upon yourself, the Colorado Army National Guard, and the United States Army.
All right, now it's my turn. All right, sir, we got a small gift for you. My nose is out of the microphone. All right, small token of our. Is that a bank joke? No, but you got a phone with us. Small token of our appreciation to remember, your time in the Blackjacks. We couldn't get all the guy downs, but we decided to do some small guy downs. We had everybody sign the matting there. The Italian colors came out awesome. And we got our old coins and our new coins. So you and I want a legacy. That's it. Good way for me. So Tara, I know the boss and I have probably shared more significant emotional events than I know I have with my wife. And I know he probably has with you. So now you get it back, and Major Stansbury, you and I are going to share some significant emotional events. But yeah, you can hang out in man cave, your office, whatever. But that's a tiny token of you sure as hell left this place better than you got here. It's an honor and a privilege for me to serve with you, to serve everybody in this room. So,
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the benediction by Chaplain Justin Cohen of the Colorado Army National Guard.
Now, Lord, confirm this change of command with the support of all the unit members and blessing of heaven. Continually remind us of our responsibility to hold forth the principles that have enabled this experiment democracy to endure. Lord, bless us and keep us. Turn your face toward us. Shine your countenance upon us and bring us peace. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retirement of the colors and the playing of the Army song.
sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper and Major Todd Stansberry and his family will receive guests at the front of the stage. You are cordially invited to attend a reception for Lieutenant Colonel Robert Soper and Major Todd Stansberry at McCabe's Bar and Grill. If you need directions, I have papers up front, and this concludes today's ceremony.
Great job, guys. Man, take charge of the unit.